Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to know how I was able to get my first software engineering job without a computer science degree, stay tuned. But before we go any further, please go ahead and subscribe if you have not, like, and share a comment below so that we can grow this community and grow this channel. All right, thank you. So if you didn't get a chance to watch the last video, it's in the cards here somewhere. All right, go ahead and pause this and watch that so that we can come back so that everything is flowing accordingly. Everyone's on the same page. She understand? If you did not know, I was a pharmacist for about 6 years till I got laid off. And I took it as an opportunity to, transition into technology, into software engineering. And this is where I am today. Now you might ask, did I have like a computer science? Nope, I had no computer science background. Never took a computer science course in college, not one bit, all right? And to be honest, I really think that everyone in college should take at least an intro level of computer science just to have an idea of just how the computers work, all right? Or the internet or the browser. I mean, like, this internet is such a big part of our lives that we should at least have an idea of what happens when you type www.facebook.com. We need to understand like what happens. It goes to the server, all that extra stuff, right? Comes back. That's how you're able to get on a page or even just all these apps. But see, back then we didn't know that computers are going to go as far as it was today, right? So I never really thought to take a computer science class. Now, fast forward to when I decided that I wanted to pursue software engineering, I didn't know where to start. So I just did a lot of Google searches. I went on YouTube to see how people did it, and I realized there's so many ways for you to do it. One, you can self-study, right, or self-teach. I knew that was not the cards for me because I don't have that discipline to like teach myself something new and completely new. Like I had no background. So I didn't even know where to start to even start teaching myself. I did not know where to start. Second, if you have like a computer science background, which I did not have, or the third that's pretty popular, which is a boot camp. Prior to this, never heard of a coding boot camp before. Once I discovered it, I knew that this would be the route for me, all right? So I was like, all right, let's do this, right? So I canceled the other two options because I knew that would not fit me. So I was like, okay, how can I find the right boot camp? First of all, I need to see if I like this. I went on LinkedIn, looked for Black female software engineers just because I felt like I could relate better to them and we could just relate better to each other. I wanted to get an idea of what their day-to-day life was like working as a software engineer, see why they chose the field, if they like it, do they see themselves long-term? If not, why? What are the pros, what are the cons? Just to start to gather that information so that I can make a concrete decision if this is something that I wanted to do. There's no better way to learn about something than talking to someone who's already in it. So, I got a lot of feedback. People were really open talking to me. A lot of them were excited that I was interested in this because, most of the time you're either the only Black girl in your team, like I am now, either the only Black girl in your team, or there's just not that many Black female software engineers. So people were just excited that I'm considering this as a profession. So after gathering that research and just the feedback from people, I was like, okay, I've never seen code before. Never written code before. The thing that I could reference was what I seen on TV. Black screens with green fonts. Went on to Free Code Academy just to get an idea of what this was about, to see if it's something that I actually liked. So I started with HTML, then I dabbled on to a little bit of CSS, which I still don't like. It's actually cool to see what happens behind the scenes that allows you to see all these beautiful images on our computer screens or our phones. So that was actually exciting, that, you're actually creating something, that you're actually building something. Like, that really excited me, and it still excites me till today. Especially when I accomplish my tasks for my sprints and I'm like, wow, I did that. Like, that was me. I was like, okay, this is cool. So my friend that I mentioned in the other video, she was enrolled in a boot camp, but she was doing the UI UX track. For me, I'm the type of person, like, word of mouth is good enough for me. Because if we're gonna suffer, we're all gonna suffer together. I'm just joking, but no, not really. So when she told me about her boot camp, and she set me up with her brother's friends who went to Flatiron School, because that's where I went, Flatiron School. He told me about the school, he liked it. It did what he needed it to do, so that was good. And it's funny because he actually ended up being my coach during my time at the school, so it's actually pretty funny how everything worked out. So once I decided that that was what I was going to do, I went onto their website just to do a lot more research and kind of check out their curriculum and see, if it's something that I could do. I was looking for something that was immersive, where I can actually go to a campus of some sort. That was the idea, to actually be on campus. Then COVID happened. Decided that was where I was going to go. I wanted to see what their admission requirements were. So with Flatiron, you have to kind of, before you even apply, they allow you to kind of do a boot camp where it starts off with HTML, a little bit of CSS, and then a little bit of JavaScript. If you felt comfortable that this is what you want to do, then you can go ahead and apply. And I think it gets to a point during the curriculum of the free coding bootcamp where they're like, okay, you've gone far enough, consider applying to the program. So I applied, had my first round of interviews, and because I was doing the in-person route, which was the immersive program, I think you had to do a technical interview as well as a cultural interview. But the cultural interview was first. And I think I did well on that. So that I was able to move on to the next round. And during that time, after you complete the interview, the cultural interview, then you have to go back to Flatiron's free bootcamp and continue on with other assessments. And then it will tell you when it's time for you to, okay, you might be ready to do the technical interview. Then you can start preparing for that and then figure out when you want to take that. So I bombed it the first time. Now you might ask, why would you have to do a technical interview when you don't know how to code at all? What they're looking for is your aptitude. Can you catch on? Do you understand what's happening, right? Can you understand what you've written, right? Do you know why you created this method and what this method is supposed to do? Things of that nature. They're not looking for you to get it right, but for you to see, do you have potential to get through this program? Because this program is intense. It's 15 weeks. Mine was a little bit longer, but it was 15 weeks. And it's for me, I felt like you didn't have enough time to soak anything in. You're just going back to back to back to back to back. I felt like I was in pharmacy school all over again. All right, but pharmacy school was 4 years. This is 15 weeks. It's 4 years smushed in one. So I didn't get it the first time. So thankfully I was able to redo the technical interview and I got it second time around. And now comes, how am I gonna pay for this? At the time it was $15,000. I think now it's $16,900, I think, but I'm gonna put it on the screen. And I was like, I don't have the money. But they had options. They had a they had a tuition option. So either you can pay up front if you have the money, or you can do an ISA or an income shared agreement, or you can take out a loan. So I think I was leaning toward the ISA part. How the ISA works is you don't pay anything up front until you start earning an income. And when you start earning an income, the school will take a percentage of your paycheck till you pay the rest of what you owe. So I think it's up to 4 years. I'm not sure. So I was gonna go that route because I didn't really feel like doing another loan because I already had, my pharmacy school loans and I didn't want to add something else onto that. But funny enough, and I didn't even realize that I was doing this, but I realized that when I was applying to the program, that I was also applying for a scholarship. So I was thinking that it was going to be maybe like a few $1,000s, but as God would have it, you know, I got a full scholarship. So I didn't have to pay anything on my end. So that was only God. That was not me, that was only God. And I'm so thankful for that, because I couldn't even imagine, even, you know, with the ISA, like, I'm like, oh, what will I eat after they take that portion? And then I have to pay everything else, pay my bills. I'm like, what will I eat? But God was good. You know, he looked out for me as always. And I didn't have to worry about that. So once you get in and you sign all your forms, then you have to do pre-work, which is pretty much learning about the Ruby language, which is one of the languages that we learned in the program. So we learned 2, JavaScript and Ruby. So once I completed the pre-work, then I would start the classes. You're learning a language like every 3 weeks. You know, you're learning a lesson. So it was like really intense. I did that for 15 weeks, and in my case, 21, because I had to retake one of the modules, JavaScript. So that kind of pushed me back. How long did it take for me to get a job after graduating? I graduated in October, and before you graduate, they set you up with a career coach who holds your hand. Well, they don't hold your hand, but they just like they guide you into making sure that you're staying on top of things so you can get a job, because looking for a job is a job in and of itself, and it's easy to, like, if you don't have that structure, they're like there to kind of give you structure. And if you don't have that structure, it's easy for you to last and not find a job, right? So I still have cohort mates who are still looking for jobs. I think everyone is different. I think for me, how I was able to get a job almost quickly after I graduated is that I never really stopped, like, the hustle. After I graduated, like, I took maybe like a few days off, and then like after that, like after the high of graduating and accomplishing this major task, after that died down, I made sure it died down quickly because I was like, okay, now the real cream of the crop is getting a job, because then that's how you know all this was worth it. Because if you ain't got a job, you're like, was this worth it? You know what I'm saying? Right. So I was like, okay, I gave myself a few days, you know, celebrated my own little way, and I went back at it. I had spreadsheets that our career coaches gave us, and I was sending out emails. I pretty much took it like a job. On my desk at about like 10 o'clock, didn't leave till about 6. I had my lunch breaks. During the time, like, I was learning data structures and algorithms, because that's what your technical interviews are consisted of. And Flatiron didn't really do a good job with teaching you that, you know, so we kind of had to learn. And I'm gonna put up a resource that helped me be decent with data structures and algorithms enough to be able to land a job. I would spend the rest of the day applying to jobs, sending LinkedIn requests to people just to meet up for virtual coffee, or just to chat and hear about their experience being a software engineer, and just let them know I'm on the market looking for a job. And I did that day in, day out. I attended a lot of meetups. Like, I was going to meetups like 3 days a week minimum, even on the weekends, you know, and I just stayed consistent. And I met like a cool group. We would meet every Monday and just work on algorithms and data structures. Another thing that also helped was joining Slack channels that people would just randomly tell me about. And then there, you know, people would post like jobs or internships, so things of that nature, just so that, you know, I'm not just applying in the same pot as everybody else. So I was doing that day in, day out. I applied to like over like 100 jobs, right? And to some of them might not be a lot. Some people were applying to like 400 jobs. Me, at least when I look back on my spreadsheet, it was about 100 positions that I applied to. So I think what really helped me, so I did all those things, but then I think my biggest win was attending Afrotech. Yeah, Afrotech 2020. It was great. If you never heard about Afrotech, I'm gonna leave a resource in the description below. Afrotech is the largest multicultural tech conference in the United States, out of California, in Oakland normally, and large tech companies come through every year, from Google, Apple, Amazon, GoDaddy, IBM, Microsoft. I mean, name it, they're there. They're looking for Black talent. right? So I went just to get better at networking and just talking to random people and just telling people what I need from them. Because the one thing I've learned that you have to tell people what you need from them. Not like, okay, you can't just be overt with it. You have to, like, you know, finesse it somehow, but let people know what you need. So I wanted to get better at that because I felt for me, that would be how I was going to get my job. Not through applying, you know, but it would be through who I know and not necessarily what I know, right? So I met a recruiter at my current company now. And when I first met her and I interacted with her, her initial hesitation was I was a boot camp grad. So like, you know, that whole thing, you know, you don't have much experience because this company is known to hire like, you know, a lot of computer science graduates. So boot camp, that's still something new to a lot of people. They weren't used to that. So it was one of those things where I gave her my resume and she was like, okay, well, if anything comes up, you know, I'll let you know. I just thought it would be one of those things where, oh, she's not gonna call me, but well, at least, you know, someone else has my resume. So just in case because you never know. You just never know how God is going to remember you. And remember me, he did. Because like 2 months later, you know, I got a call from the recruiter and was like, hey, something just came up. I think you'd be a great fit, yada, yada, yada. Are you interested? Heck yeah, I was interested. I was very much interested. So that's how that worked, you know, and here we are today. Just completed my internship at this company. I am gonna be starting full-time pretty soon, if not now, when this video goes up. So it's possible. Does it take hard work and persistency? Yes. Just gotta keep doing the work. I think for me, like, this is a testament to if you put your mind to something, despite what everything around you may say, what's for you will always be for you. No one can take it away from you. You know, you just have to do your part, put yourself out there, and you'll be surprised like how everything works out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are inspired. I'm inspired even sharing this story, right? Because I know that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment and I'll definitely respond. And, you know, I'm hoping to make more videos about my journey. And I'm hoping to get one of my classmates on here to talk about our experience at Flatiron. You know, she's a fellow Black female engineer as well. So that was exciting when I saw her the first day of school. I was like, woo, all right, let's do this. But yeah, I have a lot more in store. So I hope you guys will like, subscribe to my channel, and let's grow this thing, you know, let's increase the watch time hours. All right, just play it in the background. All right, thank you guys, and you guys have a great day.